Hi, Vern. Vern. Vern.
Happy October, everyone! Punisher Knight here, and in this spooky installment of Video Talk, I will be discussing Ernest Scared Stupid, or as a kid in the movie calls it, A Nightmare on Troll Street. Ernest Scared Stupid was released in 1991 and is the fifth film to star Jim Varney as Ernest. This comedy horror is the last in the Ernest series to go to theaters, and one look at the box office totals, it's easy to see why. Despite the low score most critics have given this classic, it lives on as a cult hit and is definitely a product of its time. It has that very 90s mix of practical effects that are on point, but special effects being good at the time but laughable by today's standards. I grew up with this film being something fun to watch around Halloween, even though it's a children's film that scared me more than most adult films did at the time. In talking to others, it seems like this movie caused more than its fair share of nightmares. But Scared Stupid is not just packed full of fears, but also some incredible physical humor delivered by Varney, as well as some clever writing that sneaks its way into the story. Ernest is a goofy protagonist getting by on dumb luck and his big heart, and you can't help but both cringe and root for him at the same time. He is a Soul City employed garbage man, but wastes most of his time trying to find ways to improve the town, almost exclusively blowing up in his face. It cannot be commented on enough how the Ernest character is brought to life through brilliant physical and character acting that Jim Varney delivers from start to end. The opening credits is just classic horror scenes spliced into Ernest reacting to them, and through the whole film you'll be treated to wonderful physical acting, slapstick humor, and laughable moments. A noteworthy scene, Ernest goes through a slew of different personalities ranging from a lumberjack to an Ottoman Empire soldier, as well as an elderly lady and a few more. Each is performed in a way practically no one else could pull off, and are often called upon later in the movie for comedic effect. I'll keep the plot to a broad overview, as I don't want to ruin everything for someone who hasn't seen it before, but the main point of the movie is just to see Ernest kick in some troll teeth. After the memorable opening, we are taken to Brayerville, Missouri, during long ago, to a young girl in Puritan clothes running through the forest from an unseen beast, until twist, the kid is just bait in a trap that the town has deployed in order to catch this menace. We then see an ancestor of Ernest burying the troll alive to seal it from taking more children just before the troll curses the town and promises to return. We then time jump to the early 90s in a classroom where one of the main children characters is telling the story that we just saw play out. In order to deal with the bully situation, the main group of kids and Ernest build a fort in an ancient tree until an eccentric resident called Old Lady Hackmore rushes out to explain to Ernest that the spot that they are playing on is the exact spot where the troll was buried all those years ago. She then proceeds to tell Ernest the exact words that someone of his bloodline must say in order to revive the troll. But Ernest being Ernest, he ends up saying the words, which is where the real fun truly starts, as well as the scares. The freshly resurrected troll is now on a mission to gather 5 children's souls and bring them back so he can revive his troll family. In order to do this, the creature uses misdirection, mimicking, and scares to lure the kids into an area by themselves so that he can turn them into a small wooden doll that he can bring back to the tree. Due to a damaged page in the folklore book about these trolls, Ernest thinks that the way to take care of the infestation is Mayak. What is Mayak? It's just a reoccurring gig throughout the movie that actually bled into reality. Google Mayak sometime and you'll see what I'm talking about. The actual solution is milk, mother's love, which the kids figure out and help Ernest take on a small troll army that have been revived with the fresh children's souls. The big baddie is too strong and must be taken out with unconditional love, which Ernest displays with a close dance and a big slimy kiss, which results in the troll straight up exploding. With the trolls defeated, no thanks to Mayak, the kids are returned to normal, including the kids from the generation prior who had been turned to wood apparently. As a side note, I always thought it was cruel that if the troll would have turned good, fell in love, and upon first kiss explode, it would have been tragic for both him as well as the partner that he left behind, both confused and brokenhearted. Ernest Scared Stupid is still a fun and spooky time in rewatching it as an adult. Of course, now a lot of the tropes that the movie utilized are easy to see coming, but the main troll still looks great due to amazing practical effects, and the story is still fun. As a 90s kid, the movie was a great laugh and a good scare, and I would imagine a lot of that still holds up to the current generation of kids, even if they have no clue who Ernest is or not having seen any of the other movies. Something I found interesting about this movie is that it was shot in Nashville, Tennessee, which is very close to me. I'd be interested in seeing if any of the shooting locations can still be seen compared to how much growth has happened over the last 30 years. Also, Old Lady Hackmore is played by very well-known and respected actress Eartha Kitt, who is well known for being the Catwoman from the 60s Batman, but for me will always be Yzma from Emperor's New Groove. Something I saw on IMDb is that the pizzas that were used as weapons in the tree fort scene are reused props from the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. If you're looking for a classic that is family friendly or just miss the comedies of Jim Barney, Ernest Scared Stupid is worth your time. It's actually something my household tends to watch most Octobers. There's just a charm that's hard to describe, but as soon as you see it, you'll know it. There's plenty to experience I didn't go over, so I highly recommend anyone who wants to go see this classic cult hit. Well, there's plenty more scary, spooky skeleton videos to come this month. Subscribe to see what's coming next. Until then, I hope you have a great one, and thank you for watching.
I wish you'd reconsider. Recycling is a very important part of good citizenship.